All right, so we are back to being word detectives again today. We have looked at lots of different ways that we use context clues, whether it's with definitions or synonyms or appositives or antonyms. Today, we're going to be talking about the fifth kind of context clue, and that's the kind where they use examples. Let's just go ahead and start. This is going to require a little bit of thinking on your part. I'm sorry, you got to dust the brain off and let's see if we can make it work today, okay? I still don't think it's terribly hard, but it does require you to do some real detective work, actually, looking at the examples and figuring out what they're talking about. So, an author will use examples in their sentences to help you understand a word. Then the reader, that's us, we get to use those examples and what we know about those things that are used as examples to figure out what those words have in common and how they may relate to the unfamiliar word. So that's a lot to understand in that kind of definition. So we have a few examples I want to go through with you. I think you'll see pretty quickly that it's not terribly hard, but you are looking for that one thing that makes all these examples fit together. We're always looking for what do they have in common and how that relates to the mystery word that we're trying to solve. The children were able to observe many crustaceans, including lobster, crab, and shrimp. Okay, so the word that we don't know for sure is crustaceans. That's a weird word. It makes me think of bread and cutting the crust off of bread, but lobster, crab, and shrimp are not types of bread, so I know I'm already wrong. So I need to look a little further. So, what do you know about lobster and crab and shrimp? Well, they're all in the ocean, but I don't think that we can classify them as fish because I'm missing things like fins and scales and gills and those things that make fish fish. So they live in the ocean. That's kind of where that has to stop. They're not fish. But they do have something else in common. Picture a lobster and a crab and shrimp. What do they all have that fish don't have? Yeah, they all have shells. So these are sea creatures with shells. So the children were able to observe many sea creatures with shells, including lobster, crab, and shrimp. That works, right? So I hope you see that it was not hard to get there, but I had to do a little work. I had to do a little thinking to get to the answer. Let's look at another one. The archaeologists found different amulets, such as a rabbit's foot and bags of herbs. Okay, amulets. Well, I know there's a great book about called Amulet, so I could take what I know from there, but let's look at just at the examples. What do we use a rabbit's foot for? I've heard people say it's your lucky rabbit's foot, right? And then I've seen in some Native American cultures, especially people will have medicine bags around their necks. They call them medicine bags, and that really just has herbs in there. What are those things supposed to do for the people who carry them or who wear them? Sometimes we take a rabbit's foot, like in TV shows and movies, you see older people who are playing bingo and they might have their lucky rabbit's foot and their lucky troll doll or their lucky bingo marker. And all those things are supposed to bring them luck. So a rabbit's foot might do that, but the medicine bag is a little different. It's not just about luck, it's about staying safe and staying healthy, and it's almost there to protect them, right? So I think in this sentence, the archaeologist is finding things about different groups of people, and the one thing that he has found is some of their things that they use to protect them. Not like swords and guns protect us, but almost like superstitious protections. Let's look at another one. Paula was suspended from school because of several infractions of the rules, including skipping class and getting into a fight on the playground. Well, I don't think she was doing fractions. I don't think this is about math. She didn't get suspended from school because she was doing math. infractions of the rules. What do we know about skipping class? Is that okay? No, it's not okay. Um, and the people who aren't watching this video today are skipping class. Is that okay? No, but they'll never know I said that. Getting into a fight on the playground. Is that okay? No, there are rules about going to class. There are rules about our behavior on the playground. And if you break those rules, sometimes you get suspended. Well, Paula was suspended because of several infractions of the rules. What did she do to the rules? She broke the rules. Skipping class and getting into a playground fight are against the rules. So the infractions are breaking the rules. Celestial bodies, such as the sun, the moon, and stars, are governed by predictable laws. Okay? Celestial bodies. None of these things are named Celeste, so I'm out of luck there. I'm going to have to just look at the examples. We have the sun, the moon, and the stars. What do those things have in common? Pretty obviously, the first thing they have in common is where they are, right? So where can I find the sun, the moon, and the stars? In space. Um, they're not planets. The sun and the stars are stars, but the moon is not a star. Um, so I think we're just gonna have to leave it as bodies that are in the atmosphere, bodies that are in space are going to be our celestial bodies. So I hope that you see that while this is a little bit trickier, it's not like definitions where they just say, here's the gift of the answer, or even synonyms where they say, here, let me give you a word that you do know that explains the word you don't know. It does give us examples, and we just have to take those examples and say, okay, so how are they alike, and how is this going to make our word make sense? So today you're going to do, it's called number 5 context clues because this is our 5th type of context clues, the examples. I'm not going to tell you you should get a 100 on this because it's a little bit trickier. I think it's possible, super, super possible. But I do think it would be easy to make careless mistakes. I want to show you what this form looks like. Let's see if I can pull that up for you. So you're going to type your first and last name and always use appropriate capital letters. You're going to read each sentence the way we just did and pay attention to the word in capital letters and choose the correct definition for the capitalized word in the sentence. You're going to look for examples of the unfamiliar word in the sentence as the biggest clues to the correct meaning. Brian participated in many aquatic activities such as swimming, skiing, boating, and scuba diving. What do all these activities have in common? Are they all exercises? Well, swimming is an exercise, and skiing is an exercise, and scuba diving definitely takes some exercise. Boating, unless it's a rowboat, I'm not getting a lot of exercise. They're all water related. Well, swimming, water skiing, boating, scuba diving, okay. Different. Well, they're all different, but I don't think aquatic means different. They're all nature activities. Boating is, I guess you could call it a nature activity. So in this sentence, there are a couple of things that could replace that word and the sentence would still make sense. But the thing that swimming and skiing and boating and scuba diving all have in common is that they're done where? In the water, lake, river, pool, ocean. They all are water related activities. Just gave you an answer. See, that's what the people who don't watch the video get. They don't get free answers. All right, so that's how you do this. There are 10 of these today, which means each one is worth 10 points. I want you to be super careful to make sure that it makes sense. If you have any questions, please send me an email because I'm very happy to help you. And we will figure it out together, okay? And then come back tomorrow because tomorrow you're not just a detective tomorrow, you're also a surgeon. I know it's weird. You'll just have to come back and see what I'm talking about. All right. Go, let's get this done. Don't forget you also have a bell ringer today and a read aloud today. Some of you aren't listening to the read aloud, and if you've chosen that because of our first video, that's fine, but some of you are just skipping it because you don't think it's important. It's super important, and it's a way to be connected to our class. So unless you have chosen not to read this book with us because you're not comfortable with the content, that's fine. You don't have to read it. But I'd like for the rest of you to give it a shot, okay? So see what you can do. All right, good luck.